We could survive that. We could survive that. We could survive it.
Hello and welcome to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the movies. I'm Jack, and today I'm joined by a man who hopes he would face Guile personally on the battlefield, one gentleman warrior to another in a respectful combat. Then he would snap his neck. Ah, the path not taken. But why? Why do they call him a warlord? And mad? All he wants to do is create the perfect genetic soldier. Not for power, not for evil, but for good. Carlos Blanca will be the first. Then they shall march out of his laboratories and sweep away any adversary, every creed, every nation, until the planet is in the loving grip of the Pax Bosonica. And then peace will reign, and the world and all humanity shall bow to him in humble gratitude. It's Chris Bison.
Oh my god. Bravo. Those words really did grate on me though, because I only had them read out to me from the actual movie about an hour ago.
It's still fresh. How was
super fresh.
How was my humble performance compared to the great Raul Julia's?
I mean, when he does it, you can sense the madness and the actual belief coming from him that what he's saying is right. When you do it, I can hear the undertones of sarcasm.
I'm laughing because I'm just imagining your face curling up and wanting to punch me if we were in the same room.
I'm picturing you wearing the bison hat at the moment.
I'd love one of those hats. He's got a hat for every occasion. He's got a hat for his military gear. He's got a nighty hat as well for bedtime. He's got a bedtime sexy silk.
The man likes his hats, okay? But,
yeah, it's good.
I mean, I didn't even know that. I've never played Street Fighter or any. I don't know the lore. I don't know the characters. I don't know any games or anything like that. So this is my first and only introduction to Street Fighter is the 1994 movie Street Fighter, the movie.
We are probably the worst people to be talking about Street Fighter because, like you, Chris, I've never played the game and this is about as deep into the lore as I've gotten. And it's probably not a very good interpretation of what the video games bring to the table, if I'm guessing right.
I agree with you because I know there was a remaster collection of the old Street Fighter games and they made a game based on this movie that had the character models in from the actual actors, and this game was not remastered, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it a bad game? Is that why?
Well, I mean, everything about this is bad, isn't it? The movie's bad. All of it's bad. The bad movie, bad acting, nonsense script, terrible 90s thing where they got to try and make everything look cool and gadgety when it isn't. Jean-Claude Van Damme giving one of his worst performances.
Look, we'll talk about it more, and most of it's going to be negative, but I do have to say, the only reason that you should watch this film is for Raul Julia's performance. He is excellent in this, and it is incredibly sad that this is his last performance, because he sells this excellently. There are other people in this that I do like. I like Ming-Na Wen, who plays Chun-Li in this. Van Damme, I think he's only as good as the script he's given. He doesn't have that quality of an actor where he can raise up a bad script and make it good. There's a reason that Van Damme's not as popular as Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and that's part of the reason why I think he lacks a little bit of that sparkle to make a bad script good. But yeah, Raul Julia is excellent in this, and I won't have anyone say a bad thing about him. It's a bad film, but he is superb in it and gives a brilliantly campy performance. But he does it in such a way that you're not laughing at him, you're laughing with him, and the way he's able to deliver these dumb lines, like you said at the beginning, with so much belief and fire that it's captivating.
Blimey, if you say so.
I do.
I'm not familiar with this actor. Maybe I've seen him other things. Maybe I haven't. I'm not entirely sure. I think he was in the Addams Family or something.
Yes, that's probably the most likely thing that you've seen him in. But yeah,
does he play the dad in it?
Yes.
All right. Okay. See, I only read he was from the Addams Family. I didn't even recognise him from being from the Addams Family.
It's a chameleon,
Fair
Chris.
enough.
His is definitely the best performance and the only reason to watch this film. It's directed by Stephen E. DeSoya, who's got a mixed bag of writing credits. He's only got 6 directorial credits, but some of his writing credits include Die Hard and Commando. He also wrote the script for this as well, so I'm not sure what to make of him.
Well, I mean, Die Hard I've seen once, and I think it was good. I can't remember. Commando I've never seen, so I can't comment on that either.
It's a Schwarzenegger joint.
I know, I actually have the film recorded downstairs, and I've just never got around to watching it at the moment.
On a video cassette.
No, on a Skybox. The hell do you mean a video cassette? I actually have a load of VHS tapes, but I don't have a VHS player.
No, that was part of the fun of a VHS tape. You'd take it and you're never sure what was on it or who had taped over your copy of Jurassic Park. Or last week's episode of Doctor Who. It's not good. Fun times, Chris. Did you have fun times with this film?
No. I knew... I watched the trailer for this film before putting it on, and while staring at the trailer I was thinking, this is a film I'm not going to enjoy sober. And then I put the film on, I didn't have enough alcohol to, unfortunately, remove the soberness. So I was watching it, I was sitting there going, wow, this isn't great. This is bad. It's got the corny 90s action in it. Jean-Claude Van Damme's acting was off point. It was just horribly forced. In fact, I didn't think any acting was rather good. I mean, you obviously like Bison and that lot, but none of it appealed to me at all, to be honest with you. And if it weren't for this podcast, I would never have watched this film in the first place.
Podcasting makes for strange bedfellows, doesn't it? It brings strange films to our attention, but there's probably a reason for why Jean-Claude Van Damme's acting seems a little off, Chris. Would you like to know the reason why, probably?
I would like to know the reason why.
He was off his fucking tits on $10,000 worth of cocaine.
Oh, really? He was high on cocaine?
10 grand on cocaine that he spent during the making of this film. That's a lot of cocaine. Also, apparently, he may have had a fling with Kylie Minogue on set as well.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a reason why his acting was off kilter, was it? I mean, Harrison Ford had an affair, didn't he, with Carrie Fisher while filming Star Wars?
Yeah, no,
neither of their actings went off.
Yeah, they're both good actors, though. Jean-Claude Van Damme is usually playing a variation of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't know. Do you know, this is the first Van Damme film I've seen in many, many years. I've not seen that many. But I watched a few when I was a kid, and I used to like all of them. And so this is my first Van Damme film in, 15 years.
Yeah.
So I remember him being a good actor. So when I was watching this, I was thinking, Jesus, he's not good here at all.
Maybe I've seen Time Cop, but not for a while, and I probably wasn't watching it seriously.
I've seen bits of Time Cop, but I remember Hard Target being pretty good. I mean, 10-year-old me thought Hard Target was pretty good. maybe if I watch it now and go, this is awful. But I remember that film being pretty decent, and I quite liking Van Damme in it.
He has his moments, but yeah, maybe the cocaine is part of the reason that his performance is not great. And there's a moment where he's giving a big speech, and I was checked out. I was checked out for most of his stuff, really. I think the film was more interesting when he wasn't in it.
The scenes that got my most attention that involved Van Damme was when he gets into the speedboat, the stealthy speedboat.
What?
And he's in there with Kylie Minogue and some other guy. I never learned his name. And they're all wearing helmets. And Kylie Minogue and the other guy do their helmets up, but Van Damme doesn't do his strap up under his helmet. And that really grated on me.
No. Why do they
I was watching that scene going, do your strap up, Van Damme!
Why do they put the visors down when the boat goes into stealth mode?
Well, did you not see when the boat goes to stealth mode and they pull their visors down, there's like a green sort of electrical thing pass over their visors, and they all went, ugh! I don't know what that's meant to be, but apparently it has nothing to do with the visors going down.
No, but you could still see the boat unless it was detected on, security cams, and then Bison security cams couldn't see it. But they could still see the wake of the boat in the water. So...
Yeah.
What and why, Chris, was the point of any of that?
Because the radar didn't pick it up, did it? And neither did the the cameras to begin with, and yes, they could see the water blown outside the side, but none of them seemed to realise it's a boat, because Bison was like, oh, I'll switch to thermal imaging or whatever it was, and I'll run all the filters, and it's a boat. Who would have guessed it was a boat coming through making those waves in the water?
Could have been a really fast duck.
That would have been brilliant. That would have been great. Was this film meant to be a comedy? Because there's a lot of sort of attempted comedic moments. A few did get a slight smile and maybe a chuckle out of me. Nothing where I thought, how that's hysterical. But there was quite a few in here where I was thinking, is this film, it's almost like a borderline parody. It's like the film writers didn't take it seriously either.
No, yeah, there must have been, because there were too many obvious jokes for it to be not intentional. So the Russian guy, he's got a couple of good lines in it. But yeah, it must have been a little tongue-in-cheek. And that's like Raul Julia's performance is like live-action cartoon villain. It's great.
See, it makes me wonder, because again, I don't know the Street Fighter games, so I'm not sure whether the Street Fighter games are a bit tongue-in-cheek, sort of like that as well, or whether they're all sort of deadly serious, and this film's just gone, now we're going to turn it into like a partial comedy.
Well, look, I know enough about the Street Fighter games to know that it wasn't set in one country and there was a war going on with guns and
so
armies
original
and
story
shit.
then.
I have no idea what the original story is. I know enough about it to know it wasn't that.
That's what I'm saying, that they made a whole original story for the movie to help introduce people.
It wasn't good, though.
No, it wasn't good. And, there was only two characters that I was sort of familiar with what their in-game outfits would be. And I was trying to guess the rest when they came on. So when characters were being forced to change clothes, I was like, this must be their in-game outfit. This must be it as well. And then I had a quick Google afterwards to see what their characters were meant to look like. I was like, okay. So the actors that play Ryu and his friend, I don't know who he's called either, their in-game characters are massive and muscular, and these two guys were really skinny.
The art style of the games is slightly more cartoony than like a Mortal Kombat. So it's heightened exaggeration. Obviously, people don't look like that unless they're Arnold in the 80s.
They should have got a whole bunch of bodybuilders in. Arnold should have been in it. Jesse Ventura. He's another huge bodybuilder from The Predator.
He's a wrestler as well.
Keep that Russian guy in as well.
Yeah. No, the thing is, though, those people don't do martial arts.
Oh, no, they just do big, strong punches.
Yeah, which isn't what Street Fighter's about. Also, the action, the hand-to-hand fights, when they do show up, aren't that well shot, in my opinion.
No, they're not great, are they? I mean, this film was 94. The first Mortal Kombat movie was 92? 92, 93?
95.
Wow, okay, I got that completely wrong. Fair enough. It was 95, and I think that the fight scenes in the Mortal Kombat film were a lot better than what they were in the Street Fighter.
Yes.
Jean-Claude, you just got, Jean-Claude's all kicks. He rarely throws a punch. It's just always, dramatic, quite slow spinning kicks. I always think they're really easy to dodge. Why does everybody always get hit in the chest by them?
Yeah.
And then all the other martial arts was, it was cheesy 90s. It wasn't great at all.
I'm sure most of them are well-trained fighters and could do stuff well, but the way it's shot doesn't highlight their abilities. I know Raul Julia is not a fighter. He's an actor, and Kylie Minogue is a singer, but they're a former Neighbours cast member. But no, yeah, that didn't... The hand-to-hand fights didn't work for me. It also doesn't help that this is set in a war scenario as well, and most of the henchmen have guns, and most of the action scenes are gunplay, and hand-to-hand combat and gunplay don't really mix that well for a believable sort of fight mix.
Have you seen John Wick? They blended them beautifully.
Did they do John Wick in this?
Well, no, but I'm saying they can be mixed well. This film just didn't do that or anything else well.
This film didn't invent gung fu. Is that the biggest criticism we can throw at it?
Well, that, and also they stole the Godzilla sounds when they had the Russian guy and the sumo guy sort of slapping and just rubbing their bodies against each other whilst trashing like this smaller, was it Bisontopia?
Yeah.
It's like a little display thing of a city Bison wanted to build.
Yeah.
And you could just hear the Godzilla sounds. I was thinking, what the fuck are they doing?
They stole it. There's also the Good Morning Vietnam sort of pun as well.
Throughout the film, yeah, that irritated me as well.
Yeah, there's a few things it rips off. No, I like the idea of there being a fight, and then in that fight there are like lots of other little fights, like the big bruisers going at it, and nobody wants to get involved in that fight because those two will just tear you apart, or the combatants are out of your league, so you have to go and find someone else. But it's not done particularly well, because in this scenario there are guns and grenades and explosions going off, and then there are just two people punching at each other. And if you were running by, you could just pull out a handgun and shoot the one that's not on your team and go, there you go, now make yourself useful and take this gun and shoot the people, rather than having a punch up with them.
Exactly, but that never happens. The closest we get to one of what I'm guessing to be a character from the actual games properly being shot is when Jean-Claude Van Damme's character, the Colonel, whatever his name is, his friend Charlie gets taken by Bison and turned into sort of, I don't know, like a monster, gets made really strong and sort of given aggression and that lot. And then Jean-Claude's going to shoot him in the head, and then a scientist turns up who might be from the games as well. I
think
have no
he is,
idea.
yeah.
And he's like, oh, you can't kill him. And I was like, oh, for goodness sakes.
Look, that whole bit's weird. I'm not even going to try and rationalise it. Because
it makes no sense. Because Jean-Claude, he's like, you can't kill him. And then they both stay behind and get killed in the explosion anyway.
Maybe they're coming back for the sequel.
I mean, there is a sequel. It's an animated film, though.
There's also The Legend of Chun-Li as well.
I don't even know who that is. Who is that?
I think it's Ming-Na Wen's character. There's a sequel. It's not a direct sequel, but it's something.
Right, okay, I don't know.
I don't think it's good. They had another crack at it, and I don't think it worked again.
Do you think there's going to be a reboot this decade?
Hopefully not. Although, Mortal Kombat's coming out, so maybe this time Street Fighter will try to ride off of the coattails of Mortal Kombat.
That's what I was thinking. Mortal Kombat does really well. They're going to be like, yes, Street Fighter reboot, here it comes.
Yeah, but Street Fighter's not really in the public zeitgeist the way that Mortal Kombat is, because Mortal Kombat, people know it from maybe the panic back in the day that, oh no, there's pixelated blood, and it crops up in the news every now and then that super violent video game continues to be super violent. So it's more in the zeitgeist than Street Fighter is.
Yeah, because you're going to have people that have never even played Mortal Kombat who, when you say, oh, you know, Scorpion or Sub-Zero, they're going to have heard of them and be aware of them. Whereas if you go, oh, with General Bison and Ryu from Street Fighter, if I hadn't watched the film, I'd have been like, who the fuck are you talking about? Because people just don't know the franchise.
Well, we're not in that group of people that play the game, so that's probably unfair. I'm sure there's a large chunk of people that do. It's just not us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't play the games, so we don't know anything about it. But with Mortal Kombat, if you've not played the games, you know some of the characters, or you know things like when they scream fatality, stuff like that. But if you've never played the games of Street Fighter, you ain't gonna know.
I know Hadouken.
Who?
Hadouken. Ryu, I think, fires a fireball out of his hand. He does the motion for a Hadouken. He does it
in the movie, yeah, but nothing comes out. He just does sort of the hand shape, and there's like a flash on the screen, isn't there?
Yeah, it's more like a double palm thrust. It's not an actual fireball. It's very disappointing.
See, I didn't even know that, for fuck's sake.
Very disappointing. I want Hadoukens to be blowing the shit out of people.
There was a very sort of lingering shot moment of Van Damme when he goes to fight Bison, and he sort of takes off his top and does his pose, and it zooms in on his arm and it's got the American flag on there. Is that something from the games?
I have no idea, but Van Damme, not American.
I know he's not American. He's from Belgium, I think.
Kylie Minogue, not British.
Australian, I know. Her accent in this was fucking awful.
I didn't even think she was putting on an accent. I just thought that's how Kylie Minogue talked normally.
No, she talked. What, that wasn't an Australian accent that she was doing, was it? She was doing like a forced English accent.
I don't know what accent it was, though.
It was an English accent. That's why. Because when she started talking, I was like, "Oh, hang on, where's her Australian accent gone?" And it was horribly. It was really forced and stereotypical. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Van Damme's character, Guile, is not a pleasant man.
I don't know. Is he not? He seemed all right.
No, he's creeping on Kylie Minogue. He's being very disrespectful to Ming-Na Wen. It's like, Chun-Li, your vendetta's not important because my vendetta's more important. Because he kidnapped my friend, I then said my friend's name, and then he found my friend and experimented on my friend. All I had to do was not say my friend's name to the man who'd kidnapped my friend.
Yeah. I mean, could Van Damme not see Bison at that point?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how the fucking face call thing works in this future tech. I don't know. It's not even future tech. It's 90s because it's all fucking the size of a brick, isn't it? Cinder block.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? And you ever notice when they do films, especially in the 90s, and that they have things, they've always got that line that's going up and down on the screen, like a wavelength line.
Yeah, it's very important.
That wavelength's always very important, yes.
Yeah.
God, this is a fucking awful film. Why they thought this would be a good idea? Surely when they wrote out the script and read this, how did they went, yeah, this is going to be awesome, and gave it out to like all these actors, and they all read it and went, yeah, this is going to be great.
Well, I think the Super Mario Bros. Movie came out slightly before this, and that obviously has several leaps with the source material. So many leaps, in fact, that it just leaves the source material behind, and it's just two plumbers running around, and there's dinosaurs and mushrooms and shit. This also takes a leap, but it takes more of the material with it. It knows it's about fighting, but it doesn't. It brings enough of that in just to blue ball you with a cage fight between two people before Van Damme rocks up in his tank and threatens to shoot everyone. That's exactly what you want in a film that's meant to be about hand-to-hand combat.
That irritated me. I think there was pretty much every scene in this film irritated me in some way or another. And I was watching it thinking, I'm wasting an hour and 40 minutes of my time here.
What about for you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was a Tuesday. What about that line? That's a good line.
That was a good line. That one did get a chuckle out of me.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that line.
Very good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Everyone does.
I can tell. But the other line that I quite enjoyed as well was when Bison's meeting with the weapons dealer, begins with an S, forgot his name, wears an eye patch. And then I forgot her name as well, the journalist and her two, the boxer and the sumo.
Chun-Li.
When they sort of send a Chun-Li, and they send in a van of explosives into sort of like a circus tent. They're sort of chilling him. And it's coming on the TV because they forewarn them they're going to do this, so give them time to escape.
Why?
And then I like the Russian guy going, change the channel. That got a chuckle from me as well.
He's got good comedy chops. Also, the other one where he's like, "You got paid?
Oh, you got paid. Wait, our boss is the bad guy."
Yeah, no shit.
I feel sorry for that character. He should not be working in that environment.
No, he got out of it though. He changed. He's now probably working for the good guys. I don't know. Is Van Damme a good guy? I mean, he went against the wishes of the UN and just decided to launch an illegal operation.
I know. Does this now mean he's going to be fired / arrested when they return back to their base?
Probably.
Because they're going to be like, "Oh, good job, Van Damme. You can keep your job." They're going to be like, "You bastard! You ignored us. Every soldier that went with you is under military arrest."
Because she gave that not very good speech.
Oh, the speech where they're all like, "Yeah, we go do this, but you can go home. We are going to abandon hope and dignity, but you can go home." And I was thinking, oh, fucking hell, just hurry up.
I didn't find that speech very captivating.
It wouldn't motivate me to attack an evil villain's lair.
No, if he said I could go home, I'd drop my weapon, I'd be going, right, peace out.
I would, yeah. I'd be like, I'm going home. Yay, Bison can have this country and these $20 billion. I misheard at the beginning, he said $20 billion for his ransom for these 63 hostages he's got. I thought he said 20 million.
No.
So when they said 20 million, and another character was like, how can they ask for so much? And I was thinking, well, that's It's only 20 million. It's not like he's asking for $1 billion and then it turned to actually be 20 billion.
Yeah, he's asking for 20 of them, Chris. 20 of your finest billions.
20 of your finest. What's an odd number, isn't it? He's got 63 hostages, but he wants 20 billion.
Right, how well armed is Bison's military that his arms dealer is getting weapons from Ken and Ryu, and they're basically tennis ball guns?
I'm not sure. I think that's the first time they've dealt with this Ken and Ryu, though, isn't it? I don't think they've supplied weapons to this guy previously. He probably buys them from all sorts of people. Otherwise, he would have noticed after like, the third purchase how they're all tennis ball guns.
They're not very effective.
Terrible tennis ball guns as well, because you get the machine, don't you, that fires tennis balls out for people to practice against, and that really wallops them. Whereas these guns, apparently at close range, won't even leave a mark on your face if you shoot a tennis ball out.
Well, they fire like a little pop.
Yeah, a tiny pop. It was awful. What's going on with Van Damme's forehead as well? Why did he have a constant sort of mark there? Was that part of the character, or did he have an injury offset?
Cocaine, I don't know.
I'm going to Google after. I noticed that for the whole film, I was like, why has Van Damme got like a bump on his forehead?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about the character. I know the character's got a weird hairdo, which Van Damme doesn't have. But no, I don't know about the bump. It couldn't have been an onset injury because it would have healed at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's something the character has, because he has it throughout the whole film, just like almost like a bruise on the right side of his forehead.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. You got any survival tips for anyone in this film?
Well, I mean, for Bison, I just would have been happy with sort of the outfit he had, because not only does the outfit provide CPR to him, it allows him to shoot electricity and fly.
Yeah.
So I would have just been happy with the suit, and I would have gone off and done little odd job, criminal stuff here and there using my suit for evil, or maybe even good. And I wouldn't have bothered trying to take over the world and building Bisontopia and that lot. So had he just done that, he probably wouldn't have died. He would have, survived.
Well, the superconducting electromagnetism suit, I don't think would work out in the open because it's powered by magnets. So in order to fly, you would have to be somewhere that's metal underfoot to repel. You know how magnets work, don't you?
I have no idea how a magnet works, but go on. Yeah, of course I know how a magnet works. So you're saying when he flies outside and he goes over just, normal grass or dirt, it will fail him immediately.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. Unless he, had a little robot droid that followed him underneath with, a metal plate that kept him up. Or unless the magnetic field that he's generating is so powerful, it can work off of the Earth's own magnetic field or something. Or
it was just wires.
It could have been.
I'm pretty sure at one point when he flew across the room, the way his body is being held, I was like, can I see a wire there? Is that a wire? I thought I could see something.
Probably. You probably could. He just flies at Van Damme and Superman punches him rather than grabbing his face and putting electricity into his brain and melting his eyeballs. He should have done that.
Of course he can't do that, though, because Van Damme's got to do his classic spinning heel kick, which fucking nobody can dodge, apparently.
Jesus. Also, he can do a flying kick from halfway across the room and jump over spiky fences.
That was pretty good, actually, because he comes out of the pod, doesn't he? It's meant to have his friend in it being transformed into this monster, and Bison's bringing up this pod out of the ground to kill his 63 hostages because he hasn't been paid his money. And then it opens. So Van Damme's it's a little pod. He's got no way to jump beforehand and no run up. So from a standing jump, and he goes flying at least 6 foot up in the air over these spikes, and then across the room and strikes the bad guy before landing. Van Damme's known for his kicks, but god damn, that is impressive.
Do you reckon wires played a factor in that as well?
Not at all, no.
It was all practical.
Why would they? It's a Van Damme kick, all right? That's the only thing the man has known, the splits and kicks. He did no splits in it. I was disappointed there was no Van Damme splits, actually. So yeah, no wire work, of course.
No. Well, they wanted him for Mortal Kombat, so he could have done the splits then, but he chose for this film, I think, because he said that the role was bigger, but I don't
I think he would have been better in Mortal Kombat was inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme. The character Johnny Cage is a tribute to Van Damme, for goodness sakes. So the fact that he chose Street Fighter over Mortal Kombat was probably a very dumb decision on his part.
Yeah, because one, the film's not very good. Two, he's not very good in it. Three, yeah, he made a bad decision. Mortal Kombat's definitely better. Although I don't think Van Damme's presence in Mortal Kombat would have added anything to it. It probably would have increased the budget of the film and probably taken away budget from like the special effects and other stuff. So I actually think that Van Damme's presence on Mortal Kombat and the price tag he would have asked for may have actually hurt the film. Mortal Kombat.
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't think Mortal Kombat would have been. I think it still would have been the cult classic it was, but I just don't think Van Damme could bring anything to it that would be, enjoyable or memorable or anything like that. Just going from this performance, because I'm sure he would have spent $10,000 on cocaine if he was doing Mortal Kombat as well. So he would have been phoning in his performance either way. So. Yeah.
You think that's why he turned down the role in The Predator? Because he couldn't afford his 10 grand of cocaine at that point. So he was like, I'm not getting in this Predator suit with no cocaine.
No, I think because he turned down The Predator initially because the initial design for The Predator was bloody ridiculous. So he made the right call there, I think.
But they refined the suit afterwards, though.
Yeah, but he was gone, and for good reason, I guess.
No, fair enough. So, Van Damme brings nothing to this film. Neither does any of the. Obviously for you, Bison, but the film doesn't have a good storyline. It's not got any good acting in it. The '90s action is so cheesy it hurts my brain. So I'm going to say, don't watch this film.
I mean, I wasn't going to ask you because.
But I'm telling you now, don't watch this damn film.
Look, yes, but Raul Julia's final performance is something to behold. Chris?
Yes.
Unless you've got anything else to add, we can probably wrap this up. I mean, how do you fight a man that's got superconducting electromagnetism in his boots and can fire lightning at you?
Well, apparently you just got to do a spinning kick into his chest and send him flying across into a bank of computer screens. But you got to make sure you got to kill him twice, because if you kill him the first time, his suit will resuscitate him. Can the suit not do it the second time round? I don't know. I thought it was a bit creepy how the suit was performing CPR on him and giving him the chest pump thing. That was unnerving. I was expecting an alien to pop out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was weird, man. When the suit started doing it, I was like, ugh, what's going on here?
It's good, though. I'm very impressed with it, yeah. No, okay. So, Mortal Kombat is going to have to wait one more week because we are doing another video game franchise, Chris. One that's near and dear to your heart.
Yes, you did tell me this, and I have forgotten. What was it?
Oh, come on.
I can't remember at all.
It's your favourite of the Resident Evil films, Resident Evil 2.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Resident Evil 2 with the terrible... Oh, God, and the fishnet vest and the motorbike. Oh, that scene in the church as well. Oh, God. I will watch it. I will try.
It's going to be a tough 2 weeks for you. Sometimes I put myself through terrible films week after week, but this time, Chris, a little bit of revenge.
You say that, but I like the first Resident Evil film. You didn't like that.
No.
And I really don't like Resident Evil 2, so I know you're going to loathe it so much more than I did. So this is more punishment for you than it is for me.
Look, maybe just watching it and knowing that you're hating it too will carry me through.
Oh, will it now? You sadistic git.
Yeah, I am
fine.
that.
This is all for Mortal Kombat in the following week.
Yes. If they hadn't have moved it, then we would have done it next week. But hey-ho,
yes.
It's the hand we're dealt. You can email us, weekend5that@gmail.com, or tweet us at weekend5. Tell us why we're wrong that we know slightly more about Mortal Kombat than Street Fighter, and tell us why Street Fighter's the best fighting game / excellent movie. Tell us why. Good stuff, Chris.
And if you want to get a bit crazy, you can overrule both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and say Tekken's the best fighting game.
Is it?
Well, no, not in my opinion, but I'm sure there's somebody else who's just punched the wall going, what are you talking about? Of course Tekken's the superior game.
Have they made a Tekken film?
Pass. I don't know.
I'll Google it. Maybe we'll do Tekken instead.
Oh my lordy, really?
Maybe we see which is the superior fighting game. Actually, I'll Google it now. If Tekken is a...
If Tekken's around, I would say to do Tekken because that would gel nicely between this and Mortal Kombat.
How do you spell Tekken?
Tekken.
K-K-E-N. Tekken.
Tekken the movie. Is there a Tekken the movie? Because I know a bit more about Tekken.
Chris, 2010.
What, there's a Tekken movie from 2010?
There's Tekken. I don't know whether it's based on the game or not. Jim Kazuni witnesses the death of his mother. June. I'll just play the trailer.
Well, I don't know. That's one of the characters' movies.
The year is 2039. World wars have destroyed everything.
Yeah, that seems about right. Fuck's sake. Is
it based on the Whatchamadoo?
Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's 2009 film. It's loosely based on the fighting game Tekken 6 with elements borrowed from the first 3 Tekken games. That's good enough. It's a it's a movie based on Tekken.
Okay, we'll do Tekken then.
Yes, we're going to do Tekken next week then. So this is part 1 of the ultimate 3-week martial art video game movie marathon.
Jesus, are we throughout these 3 weeks going to definitively decide which is the best fighting game? What about the Super Smash Bros?
Oh, I've not played Super Smash Bros. I don't think.
No, we'll Google if they've got a movie as well. We'll.
Oh my lordy! Okay,
we'll just do the Super Mario Brothers movie again.
God, no, I'm not going to watch that.
Okay, so Tekken next week then. Change of plan.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. You can end the show now, Chris, before you make me do anything else weird.
Excellent. Well, thank you to everybody who's been listening to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the martial arts video games movie adaptations. We're going to see you next week for Tekken. That'll be fun. Until then, keep on surviving and goodbye.